Hello, peoples. Welcome again to another edition of Sanders Speak. Sanders Speak, Sanders Speak, Sanders Speak. I guess one reason why Sanders speak because don't seem like nobody else want to speak. Well, when they do speak, it seems like they speak with a forky tongue or something of that sort. Is what it's all about. And what we are talking about is time to start coming up and telling the truth, the real truth, and nothing but the truth. That's what it's all about. Uh, Today, of course, we're going to tell the truth again and all. Of course, we ain't going to talk about nobody. Quite often we say that on this program that we're not going to talk about anybody. And, of course, I don't know, maybe the people we be talking about, maybe they ain't nobody. Just be pretending to be somebody is what it's all about. So, but what we want to do is spread the news around, spread the things around that's happening, what people is talking about. Is it right or wrong what people is talking about? I don't know what people is talking about, me, if you want me to tell you the truth now, but let me see if I can find some things over here people talk about. Let me see. Well, I haven't talked about old Bruce Jenkins already. Now, what did Bruce Jenkins say? He said something about they was going to get Enoch Sanders once he become sheriff. You know, they got their plans to stop me. Okay, great, fine and well then, throw me in jail for a long time if you become sheriff, Mr. Bruce Jenkins. You was the one that brought those 5 Caucasian men with shotguns over to the women's shelter trying to start a race riot over there because you thought that I was going to meet you over there with some males with shotguns to, with different artillery to fight you all over some female that you claimed that was over there that you knew wasn't over there, but you just wanted to start a fight, with George Sanders for them, bringing George Sanders for them over there like that. And you came over there and picked on a bunch of the female women's and had the kids begging, asking, why did I let you all in? Because you all threatened to knock the door down. That's why I let them in, because if I hadn't let them in, they would kick the door and everything in and out and hurt them little kids. Then there might have been some real stuff out here. Then when I tried to contact our sheriff now, Macmillan, at first he set up a meeting to see me, but he didn't show up. Had some high-fluting nigger to come out there to talk to me, to tell me how come the sheriff couldn't make it, and tell me that the reason why they came like that is because Enoch Sanders is supposed to have a violent reputation. No, I don't have a violent reputation. I hadn't been doing anything violent. I'm with the law. I was with the law then. They was coming around threatening, intimidating our women and children, and I allowed it to happen. So that don't make me no better than the rest. In other words, the people say that we should have had armed guards up over there to say that when y'all want to say something about this, that, and the other, we say, hey, you can't pick on these children like this. You can't pick on these black poor women like this. You're going to dog them out because y'all got all the firepower, y'all got the guns and everything. And because you all are Caucasians and we are black and poor, then we can't do nothing. And because I say these words, does that mean that I am inciting a riot? No, I said these words because these words are the truth. And the truth shall set our peoples free. And when I say our peoples, I mean poor whites in that also. Because I'm not against nobody because of the color of their skin. What I'm saying is these same peoples could have went in the poor white neighborhood and did them the same way. But we're not talking about who all else these people have went up on doing like this. I went to the city council for 6 months behind that complaining about that situation. Took a copy of the tape over to the city council where it was on the tape where they was making threats and everything. And here Bruce Jenkins is telling my people to vote for him now. Well, Bruce Jenkins, I don't know about you. And the person that backed you up, which was Sheriff Mike Millen, which I never did get a chance to have a conversation with him on it, behind it, to set a meeting up with him, because I don't have time to keep on trying to run somebody down. I say maybe now, if, what's the other black fella name that's supposed to be running? Sturgis. Okay, if, you know, we'll be up here talking about you. We'll be talking negative against you. If we put you in this office and you don't do anything. But it may be time for a change to see, will you do any difference? Because in the event that we putting you in there as a representative of the poor peoples, poor whites and blacks, and you don't do anything, Mr. Sturgis, then we'll be asking you out. But it's easier to ask a black person out than to ask the Caucasians out. Just the way it goes. It seems that Caucasians have more rights than we do. As we say, I was down to the federal building the other day, and they're not interested on whether they know who you are that's getting in that federal building. Certain people that they said is not welcome in the federal building. And Enoch Sanders is one of the people they say is not welcome. If I go down to it, they said they're going to lock me up for inciting a riot. So in other words, I'm not even welcome at my own federal building. They said it's supposed to be my federal building. I don't know whose federal building it is. Evidently, it must not be mine. It don't sound right, me being locked up for being in part of mine. So I don't know what the situation is all about. But let's don't talk about Mr. Bruce Jenkins no more. Let me see if I got anything else over here I might be able to talk about. Oh, I just don't see anything else. I guess we'll have a dull day sitting here. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, here's a little something. Who is John Brown? I heard that John Brown, whoever he might be and all, they say that R.L. Bolden was a friend of his. I remember I've reported on that sometime before in the past. And, you know, that was the negative part of his history in particular. They say he busted Ed Peters' son for 1.25 ounces or 1.5 ounces of pure crack cocaine or something, pure cocaine or whatever it was, cocaine. And they say that this man named Judge Coleman gave him 6 months for it. Of course, Ed Peters, you know, and Coleman, they cool. He got 6 months to Judge Coleman's son. I mean, to Ed Peters' son. This is just what I heard now. This is the information that came down to me. But it said that he's been caught 4 or 5 times with felony charges like that on him. Ed Peters' son have. Of course, he don't have to serve no time. He's part of the, you know, the rich and the elite. But John Brown is the one that busted him. So since John Brown busted him, what was going to happen to John Brown? John Brown being a nigger, you know? I mean, he was in trouble, wasn't he? But he made up for it, though, because R.L. Bolden is his friend. R.L. Bolden responsible for them 3 civil rights workers being killed. So, you know, he befriended with another man that can kill some, responsible for some niggas being killed and all, and everything is all right, so he can kind of halfway keep his job and keep things going a little bit. You know what I mean? Look like John Brown between a rock and a hard spot, don't it? Because he shouldn't have been messing with Ed Peters' son. That's right, but he did that. And then, of course, he had to work with R.L. Bolden on the other side, you know, for that also. But now, how much time did Ed Peters' son get 6 months, I said? I heard he didn't spend a day. Judge Coleman gave him 6 months. That don't mean he had to spend no time, no. How come he didn't have to spend no time? Because he's Ed Peters' son. Everybody knows Ed Peters the #1 crooked person around here. You can't put Ed Peters in jail. Go mess with Ed Peters. Or they'll have some charges on me next week and all. I'll be in jail for a while. I don't know how long I'll be there. But, you know, you just don't get up on television and start talking about folks like Ed Peters and then don't expect no charges to come out on you. They're coming out on you, believe it or not. You know, of course, Ed Peters is in with them federal folks down there at the federal building, and probably the reason why they don't want me down there at the federal building. But when they get through with us out here, when they get through having the poor whites and the blacks fighting among themselves, we're going to be in serious trouble. But that's just the name of the game. Well, let me see if there's anybody else on here I can talk about. Who is Bill Barnett? I don't know him. Somebody say some judge. Hello, Bill Barnett. Just want to say hello to you. Maybe I'll say a little small something else about you a little later or something. Who is John Dan Mulder? I don't know. You don't know who John Dan Mulder is? Oh, that's right. That's that judge that sided up with nigger Clips in them. That sided up with those workers at the University Hospital and said that they didn't beat that lady. Up at the University Hospital, he's the one that said that. He was the one that had me thrown on the floor and brought in the courtroom with my arm tucked all in behind me by somebody that I don't even know whether a police officer or not. He saw this happen to me, and he didn't do anything about it. And this person that did this to me was not a police officer. Well, he can watch the law being broken and he won't do anything about it, will he? Well, how come he won't? Because he's a judge, because he's John Dan Mulder. Can't nobody do nothing to him. Okay, John Dan Mulder, I understand where you're coming from. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, since I've started talking about John Dan Mulder, whether he was a Democrat, he changed to a Republican. He was in a predominantly black voting district where he had outvoted, a black person was running against him for judge in a predominantly black district, and they all voted for the white man, for John Dan Mulder. Now, I'm not saying this to be prejudiced because of John Dan Mulder was not the righteous one. John Dan Mulder was a sellout, basically, is what we are saying. He was a plant off into our community to act like he was poor and with the peoples when he wasn't. Well, what kind of evidence do we have to back up these things that we're talking about like this? Well, I really couldn't tell you now. You know me, I'm just always talking anyway. You know how it goes. Talk, talk, talk. When do we quit? All right. I'm not going to say nothing about Steve Cosey. I don't know who that is now, really. I don't know why that name popped up in my mind. But anyway, I would like for some people, if they don't mind, and all, to ask Bill Barnett and John Dan Mulder that a couple of months ago, you know, since John Dan Mulder changed to a white district, you know, since Enoch Sanders been talking about him, changed to a Republican, got in a white district and going for it. But I'm pretty sure these Caucasians will probably put him in too. They need to put him in because, you know, John Dan Mulder must be a good person. I don't know. But he just didn't act so good to me when I saw him around the courtroom and who he was going for. But John Dan Mulder and Bill Barnett was over in Rankin County at a KKK meeting about 2 months ago. You all asked Bill Barnett. He's supposed to be a judge too, I guess. That's what somebody said. But John Dan Mulder and Bill Barnett, y'all asked him was there at a KKK meeting a couple of months ago. You know, this is what things is all about. Now, you know, you want to tell me how come I'm mad and jealous and upset and everything with them? How come I'm talking about them? Yeah, I'm jealous. Hunk, my friend. And he know he my friend. Y'all know who my friend is. My friend, he be working with these kind of things and everything and all, and then they didn't invite me to the KKK meeting. Ain't that something? Shame, shame, shame on them. I like to been over there watching them talking about how they gonna get these niggas out here. I know they tough. Shoot. Boy, I tell you one thing though, I just hadn't quite got how Craig Brunson, how we gonna do him without getting Stimley. I just hadn't, you know, cause see, Stimley, he's all right with me. But Craig, I need to show him, because Frank Brunson, because he working with Ed Peters and they working in against me, that don't mean I'm gonna let them do what they want to do against these peoples out here and get by with it. Yeah, I should have been over there at the KKK meeting too. That's right. But I guess that was for just Caucasians only, though. My friend, Mr. Richard Barrett, I guess he just didn't get me an invitation. I don't know why, but you know, I'll ask him, you know, but I didn't want to get over there and have them barbecuing me though. Think I'm gonna be crazy enough to go to the meeting? You're crazy. I'll be the nigga with the rope around his neck there. But that's okay though. Bill Barnett and I guess I know John Dan Mulder was there. I guess they'll you know, that's what I was told, and positively that this is what the situation was, that it was there. So that's why I say I know. And I'm told about a reliable source also. Shame, 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 no. Sitting up here doing all this talking and nothing being done about it. What, did something supposed to be done about it? No, these people just supposed to have these cases. I was wondering how come, excuse me, how come when Judge Coleman gave Ed Peterson 6 months, how come he didn't take him straight out to Parchman right away? Because he's a part of the rich and elite. It's a big difference between white and black. You know, that's what they make out down here in Mississippi in particular. And then they say it's a big difference between rich and poor. Now they're putting the poor blacks and whites in the same category and saying that, you know, the rich folks are just over them. You know, like, you know, like, what's the bottom line man name? Yeah, like him hiring Joe Jackson, which was the head of the FBI, Jackson branch of the FBI. I wonder who was the Yeah, which was Frank Melton had hired out Joe Jackson, so they went to investigate them cases and everything. But I wonder, what is it that that these people is doing now? You know, like the FBI folks, they sent all these niggas down there to tell me that I couldn't come up in the federal building. I can't come up there. Other folks can come up there, but I can't come up there. I wonder how come. Oh, they can break any laws, rules, regulations they want to. They can tell me I can't even be out there on the sidewalk. How come? And the only thing I can do is I can get so mad and so upset, and it ain't gonna do me no good. Now, I want to come out here and to say, hey, but I didn't want to tell no lie, though. That's the only reason why I didn't come out here and tell this lie. Say that I've been dreaming and just thinking about maybe I should be the one that helped to get all those folks out of that building up there. All them prejudiced folks up there. All that hatredism. All that prejudice. Because you know how them federal folk come out, they were down in Tennessee issuing Negro hunting license. Now down here in Mississippi, you don't even have to get a license to hunt a nigga. All you got to do is say, hey, I got a badge. I can kill a nigga. That ain't about nothing. Them federal boys do what they want to do. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it. And say just because I walk around the building or either just because I sit on the sidewalk out there and say I'm trying to incite a riot. Because you won't let me in. I figure maybe if I sit out there long enough, you'll let me in to try to get my business taken care of. Craig Brunson, I heard that he done went down there talking my business with the federal folk, and federal folk tell them that they gonna cut my money. Take my money from me because Craig Brunson. Well, I ain't worried about that. But I do say, and I tell the truth from the bottom of my heart, what I feel is all the people that's working in that big old federal building down there, I feel that you ought to know that your life is in jeopardy with those folks that doing all that evil stuff up in that federal building. With all them federal folks up in there, from FBI's and them up in there. From the firearm and the, I don't know what, those agencies is that's up in there, but I'm gonna tell you. Now, if that building come down like that other building over there now, don't say you didn't have the warning already, that you didn't know no better. Now you took your butt up in there, so you supposed to been heard up in there with them. Simple as that. You decided you want to work up in there, you gonna stay up in there, so that's your problem then. I'd have a nervous breakdown if I was working up in there every day thinking about this place might blow up any second or any time. So I would tell you, if I was you, I'd say, hey, y'all need to get my office out of here with the alcohol and firearm tobacco folks near, and with the FBI near and the, all these federal agencies that going out here with these guns and stuff and all, and taking other people's guns from them and disrespecting people's and threatening to imprison them to take their liberty, threatening to take their liberty away from them for no just reasons. You go out here and you start to threatening the peoples out here like that and carrying on and all, sooner or later, some of them is going to attack back. They're not going to allow this to happen to them. But I guess you figure you've been and got all their guns, so they won't have no guns or nothing to fight back with. I guess you're going to try to take all the manure in the firepower or in explosives away from them too, so they won't have nothing to blow the buildings up with or nothing. I don't know how you gonna do it now. But anybody that get hurt up in any explosion up in that federal building down there, you all just remember already. People have been out here talking about it. They said it was a bomb threat. That's what they told me. Nah. It might didn't happen that day, but you don't know. People don't know when these kind of things gonna happen. But they've been got warning. They've been got warned already, and then later on they got hurt all up, this, that, and all, and they be saying, "Oh, why did these folk do that now?" But you be saying too now, why didn't you heed the warning? I bet you I heed the warning. I bet you I don't want to be up there. I knew them evil people was up there all the time, so I wasn't going up there around them. That's exactly the way it goes. You know, anybody that's standing up for the poor people's rights, these poor blacks and whites out here now, they're going to try to keep them out of office. They're going to try to dog them out, do them a do and everything. That's just like Stokes. Kenneth Stokes, they just took the race from him. Why? Because he's an honest man coming up there trying to get on the supervisor to make things work. I don't blame him. I'd take it from him too. We got to get somebody we can pay off. We got to get somebody whose brother's a millionaire or something. We got to get somebody who got a whole bunch of money and want to keep it. And they don't know no better, don't know how to keep it. See that boy Kenneth Stokes, see what it is about him is he know the law because he done been through law school. So he's sharp. He know what he's doing. He's tough now. It's hard to come up in there and buy that toughness off and try to scare him out and all that old kind of stuff. He ain't out there kissing ass like E.C. Foster. You know, he ain't scared of King Ditto. E.C. Foster go along with King Ditto on everything King Ditto say. Because E.C. Foster is a nigga that belongs to King Ditto. See, we know these things. We have established these things here already. Talking about ain't no slavery down here. You know slavery still exists down here. Everybody trying to figure out how to put a muzzle on Enoch Sanders right now. They trying to do it without putting a bullet in him, but they working toward doing that, though, because they're talking about tarring and feathermen running me out of town right now. Talking about tarring and feathermen putting me in the Pearl River. Got all kinds of phone calls coming up until I be glad when my phone get cut off sometime. So I won't have no more of these threatening calls coming in. We don't even want to answer our phones at the office because they be so harassment and all. But what? Is our sheriff department going to do anything about it? Sheriff Mike Miller, you going to do anything about these threatening phone calls? I've been playing them out on television, going and coming. These are no calls that I've had nobody to call in. We didn't know nothing about these calls. Somebody ought to do something about it. Ain't nobody able to stop these kind of things, is it? No, as long as it's against a nigger, or if it's against the poor white, it's all right. I've had plenty of poor white people calling in talking about how the system is doing them wrong, dogging them out. And I welcome any of them to come up here and talk with us, to get on the struggles continuous and let us all know what's going on and what's happening. Because if you come to us with a problem, if you come here with a problem, what it's all about is we, the poor whites and blacks, can get together and talk about it and talk about them rich folks and tell how them rich folks is dogging us out and we ain't got a chance. And then when you get through, they want us down there fighting among ourselves. So then you can sure enough really come in and take away all the guns and anything we have to defend ourselves, and we come out to be just slaves then. Worse than it was over in Poland and other places and all. We just subject of the king. Who is the king? The international bankers. That's what it's all about. They the one that got all the money and everything. And saying that we ain't, certain people that we ain't gonna let this money get out to. People like the People's Shelter Incorporated. Why? Because they trying to help the people. They trying to help the poor people. They talking out. See, we can't have these people out there talking out just any kind of way. We can't.